Hello, good morning. Good morning. How are we today? I believe everyone here is blessed, as you are saying, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. And you are looking forward to an exciting time. Again, we are here for another WADA excitement. Those who have been, this is our fourth conference that we are doing, and all the conferences has been really excited. If this is your first time, then you've missed. In any case, you are welcome. You are welcome to our youth summit, which we are going to outline the advantages of blockchain. I know a lot of people have heard of blockchain, but they've heard of it in quotes. They don't know what the whole thing is about. So WADA is trying to open your eyes on the opportunities and advantages of blockchain. It's not a scam, as most of you have heard or seems to know. So with this conference, we are trying to open up the whole blockchain environment and the opportunities there and what you can get to it. I don't know what you are expecting. Can 2 or 3 people introduce themselves? By the way, I'm Efia Owusu. I'm the country lead for WADA. Our offices at Westlands is opened to all of you. You can just hop in there. There's a conference room. If you want to just stay there to look through our things, you are always invited. I want you to share the reason why you are here and introduce yourself. You are busy. Why are you here?
Well,
What are your expectations?
I'm Ankra Kwame Labi. Well, I'm here to know more about blockchain technology. So,
I need another volunteer.
Okay, thank you. I'm Seth Dodo. Actually, about 6 months ago, I started this crypto investment, and I think it has great potential. So I want to know more about it and know the way forward for Africa per se and Ghana.
Do anybody want to share? Okay.
My name is Isaac Kofi. I am a student here at AITI. I'm studying computer network engineering. I want to know more about cryptocurrency and how we can fuse network engineering with cryptocurrencies and what opportunities that it presents for the youth in Ghana. Thank you.
Once again, thank you all. So today, we can see from the program outline, we are going to go through blockchain opportunities for the youth. So it's going to outline what blockchain and the opportunities there that are in. Then WADA, as I said, we are WADA Ghana. WADA is an international organization. We'll have another but WADA works under Cardano. The blockchain, there are different types. Through the presentation, you get to know the different types. WADA works purposely with Cardano. So somebody is also going to take us through the Cardano platform, the opportunities there. There are lots of opportunities there. So that's what the other one will take us through. Then the other side, the NFTs, we are also going to take you through those ones. So please pay attention. Grasp what you can, and then at the end of the day, we are going to have a quiz, and the winner is going to get some. I'm sure you've all opened your wallets. Yeah, the winner will get some ADA to fill your wallet from then. Then if you follow the Cardano community, I'm sure you will see the opportunities there, and you can grow your wallet from there. So at this juncture, I'll call Natalia Jamina, who is going to take us through blockchain opportunities for the youth.
Thank you very much, Ms. Efia. And once again, you are all welcome. My presentation is on the topic blockchain opportunities for young people. And before we zoom into the opportunities which we all want, we have to first look at what blockchain is. So let's go to what is blockchain. Now, blockchain is a decentralized, distributed ledger that records provenance of a digital asset. Now, if you look at the definition, we have some keywords in this definition. We have decentralized, we have ledger, and we also have digital asset. The meaning of these words, some of us, we've heard them already. Like if you say what is ledger, the accountants here will know that ledger is a collection of financial accounts. If you look at digital asset, the word asset we have already heard of, which is anything of value or anything that brings value is an asset. Now, what makes it a digital asset is that it becomes an electronic file that can be owned and transferred by individual and used as a currency to make transaction or as a way of storing intangible content. So that makes it, can you move to the next slide? Move to the next slide. So good, so that makes it a digital asset. Now, the last key word is decentralization. The last key word is decentralization. So let me use it when I say next. When I say next, thank you. So the previous slide. Okay, so I was watching and then, so I think we should all watch from this side so that we can. So decentralization is also not a new word to us. It refers to a simple dilution of centrality by distributing various elements of political or administrative activities to non-central offices. Now, we've all heard of decentralization, and what comes into mind as Ghanaians when we mention decentralization is our local government at our various localities. So the concept of decentralization, the definition that was used here is looking at the administrative decentralization. We have other form of decentralization. You can decentralize power, that was what they call devolution, but we are looking, for this purpose, we are looking at the administrative decentralization where we've seen evidence of it in our local communities. So when we talk of decentralization, let's look at it like our primary school. When we write exams, okay, the only person who has access to our scores is the teacher, is that not it? Good. Now, the concept of decentralization will make everybody has access to our scores. So, not one person who will have access to their scores. So if you are using the concept of decentralization, everything that you do. So, while like individuals in the class would like to have access to everybody's score, it brings transparency, and then it brings it adds value as well, because when it comes to the blockchain, once you keep or once the transaction happens, it brings value. Now let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now, I'll be talking more about the concept of decentralization in this presentation, but before that, we call this blockchain because the transaction must be recorded, is that not it? Now, this transaction is recorded in a block, and every block has a capacity of records that it can keep, is that not it? So let's look at it like an accountant notebook. An accountant notebook has a capacity, is that not it? So when the notebook is finished, you go to it, you take another notebook, is that not it? So let's bring the same idea to the blockchain. We record it on a block. Once the block capacity is reached, we move to the next block. Now you can, for Bitcoin, the block is, I think the capacity is 1,500. You can increase the block, and you need a lot of IT guys to do a lot of coding to increase the capacity of a block, you get. But basically, that is it. So once you move to more blocks, then you are forming what? A chain of what? Blocks. Is that not it? So that's the blockchain. Now, think of blockchain like a Google Doc. This is also one of the metaphor I use to represent blockchain technology. It's very complex, but it is not a Google Doc, okay? But just think of it like a Google Doc. So with a Google Doc, it is created, is that not it? And shared among a group of people. That's decentralization. The people that has been shared to have access to the Google Doc. Is that not it? Now, if your friend who has the document goes to edit the document, you all see that maybe Kofi has edited the document at 1:00 p.m. Is that not it? So that is what is leisure. So keeping the records. Now, the document itself is of value. Is that not it? So it becomes a digital asset. Are you okay with the metaphor? Or I'm confusing some people here. Okay. You get it? So the document, and one beautiful thing about the Google Doc is that once the document is created, you cannot recreate it. Are you getting it? You can't recreate it. So everything is the same document that has been created. So you don't have duplications. But you can have what? A sharing of it. So that's what makes the Bitcoin more, let's say, valuable, because you don't duplicate it. So it continues to create value on itself. Are you getting it? Let's move to the next slide. Now, blockchain has always been with humanity. Now, I have this here as the people, the constitution, and then government. Now, before we started as people, we have the Stone Age man and whatnot. You realize that the Stone Age man didn't have the constitution. Is that not it? So the point here is that people have always existed without a central power. People have always existed without what? A central power. And they existed in the, what we call, the other philosophers will say, the state of nature. The fittest survive. It was there. Then gradually civilization was coming. Then they say, okay, then let's create a constitution. Is that not it? So they all come together and say, let's create a constitution. But can you put your mind to it as to how they were resolving issues back then? Hunting and gathering. Your weapon is yours. Is that not it? You were all going to hunt. But there was no laws. But among them, there were corporations. Is that not it? So it wasn't so chaos like people will have us to believe that once the constitution is not there, it will create a system of chaos. Okay? Now, within the constitution, because they are going to give power to some people, okay, so we tie the power in the constitution and we say, let us create government. And so the people first before government. But right now, the society that we live in, we have turned it upside down. We see the government first before us. It is we first, because no matter what, the people, that's why when there's chaos in other countries, sometimes what we call, John Locke will tell you that if the government breaks his social contract in the constitution, the entire citizens can revolt and we create another one. We form a new government, then we move on. And democracy is also giving us a platform where we can cast our votes every 4 years. But let's move to the next slide. Now, you realize that with time, the society became complex. Is that not it? Now, when we see a complex society, they form the people, they created a constitution, then they form a government. Now, the society become complex. Then they say they want representations, so that when there is an issue, representation will take the decision for them. Is that not it? So we have our parliament. Now, for every complex society, we look at the complex nature of the society, and it's so beautiful. But it's an aggregate of good things, okay, that was carried along. So they like, every bad thing has existed with us, okay. So if you look at, sometimes we look at advanced society and we jealous them, but they also started from somewhere. You get a point. And it was the good thing that they were doing in the society that they kept along. So it's not as if somebody sat somewhere and said, let me plan the entire Canada and let me make it like this. No. It's an aggregation of good things and what we call spontaneous order. What is happening here, the people here don't know about what is happening here, but at the end of the day, they evolve and then they build a better society for themselves. You get it? So now, our representation, don't move on. Our representation becomes our problem as well. Now, like I said, the first slide, we mentioned that we've turned it upside down. Now we have representations. They have also become our problem. We have concentrated power in them. When the people existed, when there's an issue, they will come and gather. Is that not it? And George, or every clan head will come, a tribal head will come, and then we'll discuss it. Then everybody is aware of the information, and then we pass it on. Now, the concept of blockchain is giving us what we used to have as people, a decentralized form of power. And so if there is an issue, we can all gather on the blockchain and take a decision. That is decentralization, and that's what blockchain brings. So blockchain is taking us back. So it's like what we used to do, and the society has now grown big. And because we say the society is big, we cannot do it. Blockchain is telling us that with the blockchain technology, we can still have a decentralized society on our phones, on the digital world. Are we getting the picture? Good. So we say blockchain decentralization is equal to solution. Now, let's move to the next slide. Next slide, please. If you ask any person, like, how should Ghana develop? The person will go and somehow tell you that Ghana, we need an autocratic leadership style so that everything that we say, everybody will follow. Like, you see that young people have love for that kind of leadership. And sometimes, if you are old and you live in a champion era and the coup d'etat eras, you listen to them and you know that they are not being of themselves, or they have not witnessed how an autocratic leadership style is. That's why they are falling in love with it. Now, the problem is the democracy, because we are in the digital age and the democracy is not digital. And so democracy still do things the old way. And so we feel like we are running parallel to the democratic system that we have. And so with blockchain, we can create what we call a liquid democracy, kind of. And then you take your decisions with the blockchain. I hope you get a point. You take your decision with the blockchain. So that is why people are falling in love with autocratic leadership. It's not the best of leadership style. Okay? The pros and cons, no matter what, a decentralized leadership style has always been helpful to society, and that is what society has always been with. Let's move to the next slide. Now, with what we call the liquid democracy, that you have a say, everybody has a say. With the blockchain, makes it also easy for you to come and access it, and you involve a lot of people. And once there's a lot of people, there's more information, right? And once there's more information, there's better decision. Now, let's look at blockchains and economic opportunities. Now, with the concept of decentralization on the blockchain, what is formed? Mostly what we call the decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO. Then we have the traditional companies, or maybe the government. Now, these two individuals, they are not the same. On the blockchain, every DAO is launched with a token. Okay, so, and the token, once you have the token, you have a vote. Okay, so one important thing I will say is that you don't need to vote every 4 years on the blockchain. You vote for this project, is that not it? And the project tends to be bad. You take out your vote and you move to another project. It's that simple. You don't need to wait for that long. So we are going to explain what the DAO looks like. Now, let's move to the next slide. We've all seen a vendor machine, right? Now, with this vendor machine, you put your money in, then whatever you want comes back. Good. I told myself that I have my own joke with this vendor machine. I don't know if you will be interested in it. Now, I remember I was traveling to Kenya and someone said I should put my money. I said, no, once I'm in Ghana, unless I go to the other side of the plane before I'll put my money in. But that was just by the joke. That's my own phobia, okay? Now, when you take the vendor machine, you realize that it will need people, right? So people will come and put the stock in it. And if it's off, somebody must come to turn it on. Is that not it? And if the money is in it, somebody must come to remove the money. Now, if you go to the DAO system, it is codes. So all the things that the people are doing, code will replace it. Then there will be profit, there will be vote, and will create a value in the DAO. So like I mentioned earlier, every DAO is like it's like a project. Now when the project is launched, the project comes with tokens. Now the number of tokens you have determine the voting rights that you have. Is that not it? So assuming you want a table to come in front of the vendor machine, so because it's a decentralized system, you have to propose. Is that not it? So when you propose, then all of us on the DAO system say, okay, we vote for what he's saying. Then we vote. Then once the community accepts your idea, then we all agree and we put a table in front of the vendor machine. I hope you are getting it. So you can make improvement. So you propose the improvement, then the community will vote. Then once the vote is casted, you get a nod from them, then you go ahead to do what you want to do. So with the DAO, once the project is launched, you have a maximum. You launch, and maybe you have a maximum supply, like those of us who are into the supply of money. So we say, okay, we have 21 million of tokens. No. So if, let's say, the committee wants to increase the supply of tokens, what do you think will happen? We all come, you have to propose it, is that not it? Then we vote, and if you have the note, then you go ahead to do it. But as we are seated here, if they want to change the 2 cedi note to another note, are you going to be involved? Are you going to be involved? So do you have a voting right over there? So that's the difference with what the blockchain brings with. So let's move to the next slide. Now, the traditional organizations, you need what we call the CEO or manager. They have to build the organization. You develop trust with them before you proceed. But with the DAO, you need the codes. So once it's code driven, you don't really need to base on trust like that, because you are part of the process every step of the way. It's very participatory. It cannot be shut down. It cannot be shut down. So people say we want to shut down blockchain, what not. If you appreciate the decentralized nature of it, you won't be talking about shutting down. Even if on the DAO one person decides not to work, it will still function. We can come together and say, okay, we are creating this contract for, or what we call smart contract for some people. And we can even come together and say, let's employ this person. Like, unlike the traditional company, if you want an employment, you have to send your CV, is that not it? Then they look at it, call you for interview, and then they say they have employed you. That's if you are successful. But with the DAO, you can look at the system that is running. Then you can propose a solution you think you can solve. You get it? Then you propose it on it. Then the community votes. Then it's okay, then let's employ you with our votes. Then solve the problem that you just mentioned. Then you just solve it. You know, there are some companies that you can go and run risk analysis for them. When you go, they won't employ you to do it. When you go, they take your proposal and they work on it. It's your idea, is that not it? That's so unfair. Good. So that's what the DAO comes. Then the traditional company can be shut down by government. So you can walk into MTN, maybe recently they say they can send national security to so and so places. They shut you down, take your laptops and whatnot. Is that not it? You can't do that on the DAO. If a government wants to shut down, you have to propose it, and then we vote that we are shutting down. Then we shut ourselves down. You get it? So you can't skip the queue. No, you can be big, whatever. You can be the powerful person on it. But on the blockchain, it's a process. You have to follow it. It's highly decentralized, and every person here is respected. Now, it's the DAO system, like, it improves like people, like the way as a person, like the way you improve upon your abilities. Okay, that's how it is. But with the traditional company, it depends on few people, shareholders, some CEOs. They come together and take the decision. Then you'll be there. Then we announce. Is that not it? I like recently how Farmwork announced their prices, that they are increasing from 1 cedi to 1 cedi 20 pesos. They were like, the last time we increased our price, this was that, this was that, this was that, and so we are increasing to 1 cedi 20 pesos. You are not part of the decision. You are informed. But blockchain will give you a different thing. You will always be part of the decision. Next slide. Now, blockchain has come as a solution to our problems. So it's solved corruptions. It solved a lot of societal problems. It even funds some of these projects. And as Mr. Fia was mentioning, he mentioned of Catalyst project on the Cardano. Now, they fund like societal activity to be elaborated more when I think Anasafo also comes. So we solve your problem. So you come, you just propose a problem and a solution on the blockchain, then you get the support, then you get it done in your community. So I hope you are appreciating it. So we fund you and you do that in your community. Now, it is change. And like every other change that comes, blockchain is a threat to a lot of people. Blockchain is a threat to bank. Blockchain is a threat to government because they can't see the central power to control. And once it is like that, they fear to lose their relevance in the society. Is that not it? So you don't expect banks to be saying good things about blockchain. It's like when pen drive was coming into the market. If you were a CD seller at that time, and anybody come and ask you between CD and pen drive, what do you think I should buy? What do you think will be your response? You say, oh, Siri, leave these people. Is that not it? That's the same thing that blockchain is also suffering. That's why it has a lot of bad press, especially from people who don't even understand how blockchain operates. And so this beautiful picture you see here was an advertisement in 1910. And this was an advertisement against electricity, when electricity was coming into the fray. So somebody did advertisement against electricity that, hey, the terminals, if you are working, it can catch you and you die. That was 1910. So you see, we are in 2021, so it sounds stupid. But could you imagine a number of people who believed this gentleman and this advertisement, and they were saying no to electricity? And at that time, do you know who was the king? Who can mention who was the king at that time? 1910, who was the king? Yes. Kerosene lamp. So the Rockefellers have done their kerosene and co. And you are here, you are an innovator, you have created electricity. What are you coming to do? You are coming to distract the market, is that not it? So the same thing with blockchain. Those of us who came here, we said create your wallet. And if we are sending you any amount of money, you just need to send me your address. Okay. You just need to send your address, and then your address will be given to you. Your money will be sent to you. You don't need to send me your name, location, your Ghana water, your water bill. You don't need those details there. Okay. Ghana card. Please move to the next slide. Let me finish. Now, this will be our last slide. Now, economic opportunity that comes with the blockchain. We have mutual cooperation. Without mutual cooperation, the society will collapse. Every society depends on mutual cooperation. Once there's mutual cooperation, there's contract. Once there's contract, there's exchange of value. Once there's exchange of value, everybody becomes better. And so if you see rich people or people who create in the society, they have created a value and you just exchange it. And so the person who solved the problem of smartphone, like iPhone, so that you make calls easily, he became rich through, is that not it? Did he take from you? No. He rather solve your problem, is that not it? And you bought because you want to talk on a smartphone, is that not it? So your problem has been solved. But some way, somehow, we look at it with a different eye. We think those people are our enemy. And business, things are expensive, business people are wicked. It's not the case. Now, end to inflation. The supply of money, the printing of more money is the cost of inflation. Printing of what? More money is the fundamental cause of inflation. Any other factor is just the branches of it. But once you keep increasing money supply, prices will go up. But with the blockchain, you cannot increase money supply. If you want to increase it, see the process. You have to submit your proposal, is that not it? And then the community has to vote. In financial investment, once you vote and you keep your tokens, is that not it? The value of the token increases as the project that you are on increases. And so here today we'll be talking much about the Cardano or ADA. That is the project that we are in partnership with. Once the project performs or flourishes and increases value, we also get our value with it. Then fundraising, like I mentioned, the Catalyst team will come and mention more about it. It's basically raising funds for your solutions that you have solved in your community. And once you put the proposal and the community votes for you, they give you whatever funding you need, and then you come and carry it out. Creative problem solving. It gives you an incentive to solve problems. And so most of the young people in Ghana, including myself, we are all adamant to the old system. Like, finish school, let the government employ me. And so somebody will finish school, and if the government hasn't employed the person, it's like the end of the road. It shouldn't be so. Look at your environment. Look at the problems that are there. Connect. There is social media. Maybe your government may not be interested in the idea, but there may be other people in the internet who may be interested in your idea, so that you create something and you get your support. You shouldn't have that kind of a public sector without a public sector. But it's not our fault, because the society we live in has created a secure public sector and neglected the public sector. So everybody wants to go to the private sector. But in the developed countries, where you can get rich is the private sector and not the what? Public sector. Again, the analogy, everything has been turned what? Upside down. Finally, there will be peace. There will be peace. Last slides. Any questions? If there's no question, I'll be bringing my presentation to an end. Any question? Thank you so much.
Any questions for our brother here? Questions? So everything is on point.
Yeah.
So,
So,
everything is on point.
so, 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 so,
Yes, Mohanty. From the concept of the old age and now, what do you think has been the difficulty between the current state and that one? Because it looks like the difference is digital. But does it mean that there's no problems with digital? Thank you.
Does it mean that there's no problems with digital?
Okay, there are problems with digital. We call some people attackers. There are people, when you are creating your nice project, they can attack you and maybe take some vital information from you. But one beautiful thing is that there's always improvement. Once you are on the blockchain, someone can identify your weakness and say, okay, this is your weakness, let me solve it for you. Okay, so it keeps improving. As compared to the society we are in, we also have our challenges. But the point is, even if, like every challenge, somebody must profit from. Is that not it? In a very selfish manner that you can't even, you can't think of it. So that's the two different things. So with the digital, there's more transparency. In fact, the students here, if you are doing your normal student research for academic purposes, and you try and visit the government organization, you want information, is that not it? Do you get those information easily? It's as if you are an enemy to them, but your project work is supposed to add up to the government research knowledge, is that not? So that they can articulate or implement some of the solutions you propose, is that not? But they even look at you as a hostile person. You are even a student. How much more if you came and introduce yourself as a journalist, say, oh, go. Are you having camera on? Search him. So it's like there's no transparency in our normal society. But on the blockchain, there is transparency. So even though there will be weakness, the blockchain always try to improve on those weaknesses. And the blockchain is also one of the best technologies that is very difficult for attackers to even penetrate. And especially when those who even run the open source softwares, you can attack them, but they can also get improvement easily. So that the human mind can do evil and good at any time. Thank you very much. You want another?
Oh, yes. That's what we need to.
Yes, I asked this question because from the concept of the old age and the digital age we are talking about, it looks like there have been a large space of advancement.
Come again.
A large space of advancement.
Advancement, okay.
That's developed space.
Yeah.
Do you think about another stage where this current stage will look like an old one?
Yeah, it's possible. Innovation is endless.
And so what do we expect from now on?
Oh, what do we expect from now?
Yes.
Right now, we are moving to what we call a 3-dimension internet, right? So innovation is endless. Once you have the freedom to create, okay, your mind is like, we say we came naked, right, into an environment. And God expects us to use, our mental faculty to ply our environment and flourish. That's simple. But if you live in a society where when you are applying your mental faculty on the environment, you have a lot of barriers. That's where you cripple the innovation. So people don't innovate. There are countries where if you want to open a business, the number of palms you have to grease before you get business certificate, you stop. Are you getting it? So the innovation is endless. If you have the better environment, it's endless. Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Isaac. To address the issue our brother raised concerning the problems which is possible to arise with digitization, I think problems are good in a way, in that if you're able to solve a problem, it brings growth. Looking at the picture you presented in your earlier presentation, I think when change was coming with electricity, people saw it as a problem, but those who embraced that problem and were able to overcome it really achieved something bigger, which has brought us to this state in which we are. So if we are able to embrace some problems and look at ways around it, I think it will be a good thing. Okay, I want to ask my question now. I know blockchain thrives on power to generate whatever blocks we have. And looking at the current state of our nation, Ghana, let's say we are growing. How do we solve this problem?
Okay. Is that a question?
Yes, that's my question.
So the simple answer is that it has been solved. The complex explanation is that when I was making the presentation, I mentioned improvement, right? So the mining has to do with power, right? Now there are a lot of tokens that do not involve mining. So they have something we call baking, okay? And the entire Cardano ecosystem does baking, and they don't use a lot of electricity. I get it. So the problem will come. Another person will come and add up on it. I get it. So what you mentioned that the problems are good, so that another person can have innovative mind to come and solve it. Like our taxis and Uber. When Uber started, they were fighting the taxis were fighting the Uber drivers. But if they were smart enough, they should have just hooked on it. You get it? So with the electricity, there are more solutions, like the baking, for instance. It's a perfect one for it, and it uses less electricity. Thanks. Last question.
All right, thank you. I understand the people that started this blockchain technology are yet to be identified. That's, I think, Satoshi Nakamoto also. And following blockchain technology and this whole crypto something, we have powerful men investing in it. So how possible is it that we are in a world of powerful people investing in the same technology, but we have not been able to identify them? Is it not some kind of plot to, in fact, control the world in a simple way sometime to come? Yeah, I think.
Thank you very much. Yeah, with the blockchain, every information is accessible by anyone. Okay. It was launched in 2009, the first generational cryptocurrency. That's Bitcoin. Now, the person who launched it, first of all, presented a white paper in 2008. So the white paper details everything about the blockchain. We have ADA or Cardano. It also has its own white paper, and it details everything about it. The blockchain is a technology. Anybody at all can use it. You get it? Now, the transaction that happens on the blockchain is on the blockchain. Now, if you don't have token, you can't access it. I don't know whether you get the point. You don't have token, you can't access, you are not on it, so you can't access the information. But every person has it. So that I made mention that here you need CEO, so you need to trust them. But here it's a decentralized, an entire community. So we don't really care about trust. You get, because everything that is happening, we all have access to it. So like you said, if you want to know the kind of big men in what platform, you need to propose. If the person is there and they agree that let us reveal his face, why not? But if you understand the concept very well, it doesn't matter the person who is on it, because whoever is on it is a decentralized. You can't control it like you control the real world. I don't know whether you get that point. You can't come in and There's no monopoly on the blockchain. You can't come and control, say you have said this, so that is it. No. It doesn't matter whether you are big. It doesn't matter how much investment you are. If you bring a proposal, we look at the proposal. If it makes sense, if it's going to evolve something, then we add up. Is that not it? If it doesn't add up to anything or it doesn't solve any problem, do you think the entire community will vote because you are a big man? Hello? Do you think the entire community will vote because you are a big man? No. Because if the project is not going to add value to the blockchain, we are not going to profit. Are you understanding? So everybody will vote based on what you are proposing. That's the last question, right?
So, we have online questions, so let me just put it up and then we just have 4 minutes to end your session as well.
Oh, okay.
I heard you mention that ADA can only be increased through voting, no? Or censuses. What is the mechanism for voting? That's the first question. I think this question, let's leave it for the next presentation.
Yes, let's leave it.
Okay. Then the second question is, question translated from French. We live in a country under sanctions. How can we develop our capacities in blockchain when we cannot even use our bank card to buy crypto? The world of crypto is growing every day. We try to get into crypto when others are already integrating to Metaface. How to catch up? Okay, I'll leave the other questions later, but this, if you have an idea to the second question.
Like, my understanding is that like we live in a world of restriction. So how then do they join the crypto?
Yeah. How do they easily move in the crypto world? Because they can't even use their bank cards to buy crypto because of restrictions.
So they use ID card to buy crypto?
They can't. The restrictions are. Should
I'm not getting. You read it again, because I'm not getting.
Okay. He says that how we live in a country under sanctions. How can we develop our capacity in blockchain when we cannot even use our bank card to buy crypto? The world of crypto is growing every day. We try to get into crypto when others are already integrating to Metaface. How do we catch up?
Oh, okay. I get that now. But it's true there are restrictions, but there are people who are also making efforts to ease these restrictions. So there are some banks that they don't allow their ATM cards to work on some crypto platforms. There are other banks who have also accepted and are allowing their MasterCard to work on some crypto platforms. Okay, so if there's restriction here, you can try and find where there is no restriction and then hook on to that. Because, like I mentioned earlier, the possibility is endless. So don't restrict ourselves. But the problem we have here is that we take everything that is coming from the government as golden. As I'm ending, you take everything from the government as golden. So if an individual like myself or Miss Ifya tells you something, you doubt her straight up. Is that not it? But if the government is speaking to you, you take it like hook, sink, and everything. And you don't even question it. You don't ask why. A typical example has to do with this, I'm using for example purposes. When the government created the NAPCO program to employ the youth, they were happy. It said the thing will end in 3 years' time. Nobody asked any question that what happens after the 3 years. Now the jamboree is over, the 3 years has come. So you need to question the government. Society that are getting better, question the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natania. I'm sure people still have questions. There's a general question time, and those online, if we didn't answer your question properly, there's a general question time that we may tackle later again. But as he said, we take government, what comes out of the government seriously, looking at other things on the other way, thinking that, oh, this is this, this is that. But then we should open our mind and keep on developing. Blockchain, as you said, the guy who launched blockchain, he doesn't want to monopolize everything. If you study blockchain, it's very free. Maybe the first blockchain had issues, but then it's developing. We have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, we have Cardano, ADA, and it keeps developing. So you have to study which one that you think is free with you, and then you go ahead and use it. At this time, we'll call upon Nana Safo, who is going to explain what WADA bases our blockchain on. WADA deals with the Cardano community. That's what we build our whatever we do on. And Cardano community has a lot of opportunities. We deal with the ADA. So now Nasafo will come out and then explain what we have in terms of WADA and then the Cardano community. And then we'll encourage a lot of you people to come on board, because the Cardano community have a lot of opportunities for the youth.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Nana Safo, and I'm here to present on Project Catalyst. But before then, this whole ecosystem was actually created by somebody. And, we need to really appreciate his work, because he's really done a very good work. So without further ado, I will kindly ask each and everybody to be on his or her feet. I hope from wherever you are standing, you can have access to the screen. There's a I don't know if he's old or young, but a very nice man on the screen. He's called Charles Hoskinson, and he is the CEO and founder of IOHK, which is the mother company for Cardano ecosystem. So shall we all give a hand of applause for Charles Hoskinson for his good works. Thank you very much. You may resume your seats. So I'll begin my presentation with 2 questions. And these 2 questions, the person who scores all the marks, they are all 5 seconds each. So the person who gets the highest score or scores both answers correct receives 20 cedis airtime giveaway. I hope it's fair. It's fair, right? Okay. So my first question is, how many months have 28 days? 5 seconds. You raise your hand and then you give your answer. How many months have 28 days? Yes. Wrong? Yes. Sorry? Okay. Yes, sir. February. Okay. So time is up. He's the only one who got the answer right. I'm saying, how many months have 28 days? All the months, you can find 28 days in them. Understood? Yeah, so that's how it works. And my second question is, I have a quote here. I will state the quote and you mention the name of the person who brought it out, okay? So, technology is best when it brings people together. Who said that? Who said that? 5 seconds. Technology is best when it brings people together. It looks like nobody knows. No, she's not part. I'm sorry, you're not part. Hi. Hi. She's not part. Yeah. Okay, so actually, no, but okay. Sorry? Okay, so let's give it up for him. Dave. All right. So you had one question correct. He also had one question correct, which means I'll have to divide the reward, right? So you see me after my presentation, and then you get your rewards. Thank you. So, as I said earlier, I'm presenting on Cardano Project Catalyst. What is Cardano? What is Project Catalyst? Okay. So my colleague has already, took you through what blockchain is and how it operates and everything. So I am here to also take you through Cardano because Cardano is an application on the blockchain technology. The very first application, which is currently the most popular application on the blockchain technology, is Bitcoin, okay? And then we have Ethereum being the second and Cardano being the third set of generation. So Cardano is an ecosystem which seeks to bring development to the world, basically to make the world a better place for all. Hi, yeah. So Cardano seeks to make the world a better place for all. Basically, that is how it's supposed to work. Okay, and it's an ecosystem where opportunities are being given to individuals to bring on board ideas, innovative ideas, so that we can actually work on these innovative ideas to make the world a better place for all. Then I'll talk about Project Catalyst. So I call this section the innovative section. At the end of today, you should be able to have a very fair knowledge of what Cardano Project Catalyst is, the opportunities in there for you and I, and how we can utilize it to make the world a better place for everybody. Great. Okay, so the bigger question here is, what is Project Catalyst? What is Project Catalyst? And usually, we in the Catalyst community, we answer this question with a question. And the question is, how can the Cardano community govern Cardano in a fair and impactful way? That is a question that we use to answer a question like, what is Project Catalyst? Currently, as it stands, we have about $1.35 billion in our treasury. Okay, so we do answer this question. This basic question we do answer with three main steps or three main criteria. And the first criteria will be about innovation. Okay, so we have our treasury ROI already, which is not return on investment, but instead it is return on intentions. Okay, we have it already. Currently it's sitting about $1.35 billion, and this is somehow dynamic. So we run this through the application of innovation, governance, and execution. So when it comes to the innovation aspect, we set challenges. What are some of the challenges that the world is facing that we can use blockchain technology to solve? That is the innovation aspect. So we seek challenges from individuals. They bring it on board, and then we take it from there. So from there, we take it to the governance stage where we have our community advisors, our veteran community advisors, who will actually sit down to review these ideas and then decide on which one we should fund based on the impact it is going to give to the world at large. Okay. And then it goes to the execution stage. At the execution stage, like I brought my idea, community advisors are saying that, okay, this idea is good, so let's fund it. They give me the money. Now I need to make sure that this idea that I brought on board have been executed and is being implemented. So we have people who also monitor the doing of that. Next slide, please. So how? We set challenges, we deploy solutions, and then we measure our ROI. Basically, what we do is we sit down, we revert on what we have done so far, the mistakes, the improvement and everything. We take everything into consideration, and then we iterate this whole process again. So Project Catalyst is all about iteration. So there was Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3, Fund 4, Fund 5, Fund 6, which just ended. Okay, and in every fund, what we do is we set challenges, we deploy solutions, and then we measure the ROI of it. Basically, that is how it works. Okay, next slide, please. So just as I said, you have funds. That is how we work. We work in funds, or we distribute through funds. So we have Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3, Fund 4, 5. Fund 6 just ended. That was, I think, 2 weeks ago. Fund 6 just ended. And now people have been, given the opportunity to also bring up their innovative ideas into reality. I mean, they have been funded. Sika abambutum, that is what I mean. Okay. So Fund 7 is happening now. As I stand here, we just launched Fund 7 a few days ago. And it is now running through. Fund 8 will also begin somewhere middle of February 2022, and then Fund 9 will begin at the end of April. Fund 10 and 11 and so will also continue. So what do? We are actually using a non-reverse process. Okay, so in every fund, there are about 12 weeks in every fund. I think it constitutes about 3 months in every fund. So week 1. We are still in week 1 for Fund 7. It is insight sharing. When I say insight sharing, I mean to say that maybe you have an idea. You bring this idea on board, okay? Then there are a group of people who are already into the space, who have been doing it, so they have the experience. They will guide you. They will let you know that, okay, so this idea, we can actually implement it. Or this idea, maybe you should collaborate with this person and then put it together. You understand? So basically, week 1 is all about insight sharing. Week 2 is where we submit the proposals. So if I guide you with your idea, automatically you're supposed to draft a proposal at the end of the day. And that proposal you're supposed to submit in week 2. Then it will carry on to feedback and refinement. Feedback and refinement is given by everybody on the ecosystem or everybody in the Project Catalyst community. What they do is they give you feedbacks on your idea. So maybe I think this thing that you are saying, maybe you should do it this way, it will help you. Maybe you should put it here or put it that way and it will help you. These people, most of them are also experienced. So when they tell you something and you take it into consideration, it really helps you, probably get funding. Then we proceed to finalization of proposals, where we term as the quiet week. Here, all we do is we finalize every proposal. So we lock the idea scale where you cannot put in any new proposals, but instead you just finalize what you have put in the slot already. So you finalize it and then it will be there. Then week 5, we have something we call proposal review. And this review is being done by the proposals themselves. Okay, so you go through your proposal, you go through others, you seek some knowledge from others, and then you bring it together and make yours a better one. Then the community advisors will also come in from here. And what these community advisors will do is to have a review of your proposal. Okay, so this person is saying that we should give him or her about $500,000 to establish this project. What are his or her metrics? What are the KPIs? What does the roadmap look like? What even shows that if you give this person the money, we can track and make sure that he's doing the work that he's supposed to do? That is the job of a community advisor. He is supposed to make sure that the proposal that you have brought on board, it is going to be impact. It is going to give an impact to the community. It is going to give an impact to the world. And then also we can track whatever you are going to do with the money that we give to you. If this community advisor feels like the information you have provided is not enough for us to track what you are going to do, he or she has every right to scale you down so that you don't get the funding. So basically, you need to provide all of this information in there. Then week 6 and 7, you have our review QA. So we call this one Review the Reviewer. There are a group of people who are known as the veteran community advisors. So they are on top, you understand? A little bit over the community advisors. And these people, they are veteran because they have been able to work as a community advisor and receive some incentives from the community. So now they are available to become what? Community advisors. It is believed that they have the experience to determine which proposal is good, which proposal is what? Is bad. Also to determine that which review by a community advisor is good and which one is bad. Okay. So they do this in week 6 and 7, and then week 9 and 10 is voting. That is where you show your power. And you vote using the voting app. You know, you download, you register, you have your ADA and everything, and then you vote for the proposals that you think can be of benefit to the community and the world at large. So you read through every proposal, you make sure you understand it, you make sure you are satisfied with regards to roadmaps and everything, and then you vote for these proposals. Because at the end of the day, you vote to determine that give the money to this person, don't give the money to what? To this person. But bear in mind, it is not just you. You guys are many. And then week 11 and 12, we tally and then we bring out the rewards. So voting rewards comes at week 11 and 12, and the results of the voting is given. You know, proposals who were funded are being mentioned. And then we do the post-fund, which is the cohort support. So we establish a cohort to monitor each and every proposal and how they are also going. Next slide, please. Okay, so with Project Catalyst, crowds, when I say crowds, I'm referring to everybody here, can actually explore without cuffs. Okay, so what do? Basically, we set challenges. Difficult challenges can be posed and innovative solutions crowdfunded. There can be difficult challenges, but so far as there are people in the community with several ideas, with several backgrounds, definitely we can yield solutions to these problems that we are talking about. Okay, and then we innovate together. So you have an idea, why don't you bring it on board? We discuss it, and then we take it from there. It is as simple as that. You are not going to do the work alone. You can get a team from the community. They can help you. You have developers, you have builders, all of these, advisors and everything. From the community, Project Catalyst community, you can get all of these people to make sure that your project is going to go on well. And then we vote for your favorite ideas. This is where I love the most. You vote for your favorite idea. So when you read the proposal and you feel like this one, if you do it there, it will help us, Charlie, then you vote give them. You understand? You vote for it and then you move on from there. Next slide, please. So right now, as it stands, since 2020, Project Catalyst has been experiencing about 80% growth rate, which means that a lot of people are actually adopting it now. In the Western world, in the African world, everywhere, most people are actually adopting the Project Catalyst community right now, and a lot of projects are going on. I can't say it all, but a lot are actually going on. So 800 plus proposals that was submitted in Fund 6. Fund 7, we are looking at millions of proposals and a lot to be funded. Next slide, please. Okay. So I'll run you through this real quick. This is the adoption breakdown, okay? So we actually have about $60 million fund size that it's like a target. And right now we have reached $4 million already. That was in Fund 6. And then we are expecting to have about 50,000 members on board. Right now we have 40,300. So we are almost there, right? And we are also expecting to have 50% of voters. New voters, I mean. And in Fund 6, we had 10% new voters adding to the community. In Fund 6, we are expecting 50,000 unique voters. We had 44,000. We were expecting 1,000 proposers, and I told you we had 900 proposers coming in. It's a good way from there. And then we're also expecting 1 million 1,000 community advisors, and we had 630. I was part. A lot of us here were part. All right. We were expecting 500 referrers. When I say referrers, I'm referring to somebody who refers somebody to the ecosystem. Like I told you about the ecosystem, you join the ecosystem, and then you let the community know it was through me that you joined the ecosystem. Okay. And then maybe you submit a proposal. So basically, I become a referrer from there. And then we're expecting about 10,000 town hall participants. This is something we do every week, weekly participation. we had 5,455. So basically, we are growing day in and day out. So the question is, when are you ready to join? That is a bigger question now. When are you ready to join? What are you bringing on board? What can you do? Okay, let's look at the next slide. We have problems that people face, companies face, everybody face, all right? So for instance, somebody will tell you about an idea and you ask yourself, why should I even buy this? Okay, I'll tell you something here. So we have our regular company, maybe company X. We have our catalyst funds as well. So with a regular company, you can hardly pivot. Okay, but with catalyst, the thousands of projects being launched a year. So with regular company, you can have an idea, but trust me, that particular idea, you have to run several meetings, expect several other people to actually accept before you can begin to implement. Looking at the Ghana system, for instance, okay, so you can, let's take the Parliament House as a scenario over here. Somebody can propose an idea. The idea might be very good, but the thing is, everybody, if not everybody, the majority in the parliament room needs to what? Vote yes to that idea before they can begin to what? Implement it. Is that not the case? Yes. So if it is taking about 1,000 years, then this person will be there 1,000 years. But with Catalyst, for instance, you can launch your idea, provided you have the team. You find the team, you can launch it. Because, for instance, even if Project Catalyst has not given you funds yet, all right, the team alone that you form, you can start doing something on your own. And before you realize, you'll be funded and you reimburse all the money that you've already spent. So it is simple as that. And then also with regular companies, exploring and exploiting, it doesn't work. Research shows that about 70% fail. It doesn't work. But with Catalyst, crowds can explore without calves, you understand? Okay, so it is slow to hire and risky to fire in the regular company. Even if you are going to hire somebody, the person will come for interview, you send the person email, blah, 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 a lot. Just to make sure that you are getting the right person on board. But now, the person comes on board, and maybe you have to fire the person. You are afraid that this person, if I fire him, who will be doing this for me? I need to go around searching for another person again. The money involved and everything. You get it? But with Catalyst, there are a lot of people in the community. So your team, you can switch, you can dive, you can do anything, anytime that you want. Okay. And it is slow to build consensus in a regular company. Yes, decision making is very tough. Because at the end of the day, you need to wait for a lot of people to actually agree to your idea before you begin to execute. So even if everybody is agreeing, and the person with the autonomous power says no, it is no. No matter how good the idea is, it is what? It is no. But with Project Catalyst, you don't need consensus. You have the idea, bring it on board, discuss it. Definitely you have some people supporting you to execute it. Okay. And then there's the interdepartmental breakdown in the regular companies. You need to move from one department, go to the other, go to the other, go to the other, run several meetings before you get something done. It is stressful. You use the non-evaluate process in the Catalyst fund section. I'm not seeing my topic, bro. Okay, so why should you join, or why should you participate in Project Catalyst? I asked you earlier on that when are you joining the Project Catalyst? This might probably be your first time of hearing of Project Catalyst. I want to share with you some few benefits that you will get as a member. Okay, so one, you get to interact with other awesome community members. Yes, there are a lot of genius community members on board. So you get to have interaction with them from different countries, different backgrounds, different ideologies, different intellectuals. You get all of these for free and you don't pay anything, okay? And then you get to build something impactful and meaningful. If you are surrounded with people with intelligence, definitely you will build something meaningful. It is simple as that, okay? And then you get to learn and grow. Yes, you learn and grow. Because I always say that age is just a number. It doesn't really matter what you have to do. Age is just a number, okay? So you get to learn and grow. And then you make a living or you supplement your income doing what you love. Yes, community advisor, you supplement you supplement what you have doing what you love. You actually or actively influence token price, and then you make history together. Okay, so this whole thing is about history. You make history together because Bitcoin is now a history. Some time ago it was, now too it is. Okay, so these are some opportunities in the Project Catalyst community that you can, choose to be on. Okay, so we have a proposer, we have an implementer, we have a community advisor, a referrer, a voter, a veteran community advisor, and then we have the challenge teams, which was just introduced. Next slide, please. So let's look at the proposer. A proposer is somebody who has an idea. That is a proposer. So you submit it on the ideasco.com, and then you begin the whole process from there. We have implementers. These implementers are people who, together with the proposers, execute the ideas and brings them into reality. And we have, currently in Fund 7, we have about, no, go back. Yes, we have about $6.4 million in our treasury for proposers and implementers. Just this Fund 7, it is just a 3-month course, 3 months here and a trim. So what you say? Let's go to the next one, please. Now we have our community advisors. These are people who provide reviews on proposals. So they scrutinize and do all the hard works over here. And they have about $320,000 in their treasury as well. And then we also have our referrer, somebody who brings in somebody into the ecosystem. They also have about $80,000 in their treasury for them. Next. Then our voters, our lovely voters, they have about $1,040,000 as incentives for them. Okay. Then the veteran community advisor, they help to maintain the quality of advising. That is, they do the quality assistant, layer. And then they have about $80,000 in ADA. $80,000 in ADA right now, when you convert to dollars, will be about $160,000. Yeah, that's right. Okay, next slide. And then the challenge teams. These are stewards of challenges. So like they are coaches. They coach challenges. Challenges are also something I'll talk about in some time to come. You have about $80,000 in ADA also waiting for them. Okay, so now these are some challenges in Fund 7 that you being here, you can have a look at and then see if you have an idea that you would want to submit. So we have boosting Cardano's DeFi, which is decentralized finance. We have about $500,000 in there. We have community events, $200,000 in there. Should I read all of this? It's plenty, you understand? Yes. So 75K, 250K, 500K, 50K, 100K, 250K, 200K, 100K, 100K, 200K, 200K, 350K. And, maybe you have an idea here. You should just target the miscellaneous challenge. You can target that. After the whole event, we'll be sending across a link so that you can have a vivid read about these whole challenges. Okay, next slide, please. We also have the gamers on chain, people who are doing the gaming. If you like gaming, you have a slot for you. We have Grow Latin America, Grow Cardano. Previously used to be Grow Africa, Grow Cardano, and now they have taken it to Latin America, but we bring it back to Africa because Africa is not fully grown. And then we have Seeding Cardano's Grassroots DeFi, Nation Building dApps. We have new SPO business opportunities, Global Sustainable Independent, AI, Singularity Net, and 5T markets. Okay, they all have their figures over there. And then there are some extra challenges. Pay with ADA, this is what I'm most interested in. Very soon, globally, we are going to accept ADA as a mode of payment. There is this company called KotiPay. We just partnered with them, and very soon we are looking forward to extending to the whole world where you can have, you can just walk into a shop, let's say a bag shop, you pick the bag, you transact your ADA, you are off. So you don't need any fiat currencies in transacting anymore. Okay, next slide, please. Yes, so these are the incentives I mentioned earlier on. Voters are taking $1.4 million, $1.04 million, community advisors $320,000, veteran $80,000, referrers $80,000, and then challenge teams $80,000. So in total, we are looking at having $12.8 million in Fund 8 challenge setting. So in Fund 8, we are looking at having $12.8 million in our treasury bill. So, you can come around and then grab some money. Money is good. Let's go to the next slide. So I have a favorite quote that I always say. Let's have a look at Wikipedia, how it started. So somebody just sat somewhere, had a connection to the internet, created a blog, wrote something there and was like, you can come and edit, you can come and add, you can come and remove and all of this. But now look at the size of Wikipedia. It started with just one person, right? Now look at the size of Wikipedia now. Almost everybody in the world uses Wikipedia. So that is exactly how the Project Catalyst, we are also looking at growing. So we always say that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Yes, we being in this room, we are very small. But if we are very thoughtful, if we are very committed, we can change the whole world together. Okay? So it is indeed the only thing that ever has. It is always started with only one person or two people, and it grows to a very large tree. Okay? And this was said by Margaret Mead. Okay? And these are all some organizations who have come on board. In Fund 2, we have 78 ideas and 12 proposals funded. Fund 3, 150 and 21 funded. Fund 4, 284 ideas with 52 proposals funded. Fund 5, 323. And Fund 6, which just ended, we received about 711 unique ideas, and we funded 151 out of them. But we are actually looking at funding 2,100 proposals before the end of the year 2022. And I want to challenge you that at the end of 2022, out of this 2,100 proposals that will be funded, your proposal should also be there. Your team should also have a proposal in there so that we can help in the betterment of the world for all of us. So I'll talk a little about WADA. WADA, for instance, started in Fund 1. Okay, Fund 1, they submitted their very first proposal, no funding. Fund 2, no funding. Fund 3, then they started getting, Fund 3, no funding. Fund 4, they started getting the funding from there. And now, WADA has grown very big in the community, very trustworthy. And I'm very proud to be part of WADA. I'm very proud to be part of Project Catalyst. So please join me. Log on to www.cardano.ideascale.com. Register and get yourself an account. You can also connect with me on Discord, Telegram, call or WhatsApp, or email, and I'll be very glad to assist you in whatever you want to do. Thank you very much for having time for me. Now I'll ask questions. So if you have any question, please, you raise your hand and then a microphone will be passed to you.
Okay, so in the earlier presentation, he made mention, he was talking about the blockchain ecosystem being so strong, and I want to know if there has been any attacks on the blockchain ecosystem so far, and how do you intend solving such problems?
Okay, thank you. Each and every day, an attack is going on somewhere. I quite remember I was watching a movie and these robbers broke into a hospital. They were just taking everything. They were attacking everything, literally. And it got to a point they had to attack somebody on a sick bed. So attack is going on everywhere, each and every day, okay? And we, as a community, we would always love to receive challenges, because when you get challenges, that is where you explore more. You understand? So challenges have been coming in all the time, but all the time you always have our tech team who are 24/7 active and providing solutions to these challenges that come on board. So you don't have to worry about the challenges. The bigger challenge is being taken care of by the superior tech team. So you just have to just feel free and then swim in the pool. Yeah.
Hello. You just made mention of many projects that have been funded. Can you mention some that which have been funded? Except from WADA.
Could you please come again?
I'm saying you made mention of many projects that have been funded. Can you mention a few projects which have been funded except from WADA?
Okay, thank you. So, Rich, could you please go back to my slides? Go back like 2 slides backwards. Yeah, good. No, come back. So all of these are proposals that have been funded. These organizations are all running through the funding of Project Catalyst. Okay, so we have Playament, which is about gaming. They are more into gaming on the ecosystem. We have there's this thing, Cardano AIM. They are more about teaching newbies. I mean, new people who come onto the ecosystem, how to be community advisors, how to be veteran community advisors, how to submit a very good proposal, and all of this. Okay. We also have Yoroi Wallet, for instance. I'll talk a little about this one. Yoroi, I don't know if any of you have Yoroi Wallet here. Yeah, most of you have, right? And even if you don't have, after the event, you surely have. So this is a wallet, a soft wallet that is being used to secure or hold your ADA currency. Okay, so and it was developed by a team on the ecosystem named Imego. Okay, so there are several projects actually which have been funded, not just WADA. WADA is only one out of them. We have Liquid, we even have Catalyst School. Okay, we have Catalyst School as well. So there are a lot of proposals, and then we have some NFTs and all of this. Okay, so I'll take your next question, please.
Okay. I would like you to throw more light on the communities.
I'm not seeing the one who is talking. Okay.
When you talk about the communities, what do you mean? Do you mean people in a geographical location, or maybe people in a certain youth bracket, or WADA as in Ghanaian, like all those living with WADA in Ghana, like members of WADA in Ghana? And also, when you talk about the proposals, submitting a proposal, are we doing it on an individual base or maybe community base? I hope you understand my question.
Okay, yeah, I get your question. Thanks very much. So talking about a community, it is a global community. Global communities are boundless. It has no limit. There is no age limit unless maybe you are 1 year child. Even if you are 1 year child and you can think of something innovative, you are part of the community, you understand? So it basically has no age limit, no educational background limit, because we are working at making the world a better place for all. So which means that we don't have any limit with regards to people who are coming into our community. And then also talking about submission of the proposal, I made mention that if you have an idea, you bring it on board, okay, you bring it to the community. Out of that, you will get people who will be ready to partner with you, form a team with you, then you submit a proposal. So basically, this your proposal or this your idea, you will be mentored by people who have already had the experience. Then you can be able to bring out a very good one so that you can maybe get some funding and enjoy it, or you get it. Yeah. So it is not just you who will do it. Okay. Personally, I'll be there to assist you. We have some good members in the WADA team who will also be there to assist you. If only you have an innovative idea, wherever ready, you can bring it on board, and then we will start discussing from there. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Somebody raised their hand, but we've asked him to type a question.
Okay. That was online. Online. Oh, okay.
So, because we have just about 3 minutes.
Okay. So let me take the last question and then I'll wrap up. From this side, last question.
My last question is there a database for these proposals so that you can prevent duplication of proposals? Maybe somebody has proposed something, an idea, and you happen to have the same idea. So maybe just to type in your idea and find out that it's already there. So you don't even bring it forward and think about something else. Do you have a database that would make things a bit simpler?
Thank you. There is a database. There is a database which is being monitored strictly, okay? And even before you would think of submitting an idea, I will advise you that, first of all, become a CA, a community advisor. If you become a community advisor, you will become available to a whole lot of ideas. And these ideas will actually help you, structure your idea very well, okay? And even if you get to the proposal stage, definitely when you are going to submit your idea, or after submitting your idea, we call something review and all of this, you should have gotten access to a whole lot of files. Some bank of files which contains ideas that have been funded already, because if you want to do something, basically you need to research a little about what you want to do. So you come onto the community, and then you research about funds that are, proposals that have been funded already. So you date back to some funds back, and then you look at the proposals. Okay, so this one was there, this one was there, this one wasn't there. Then you begin to generate something from that angle. Okay. However, if your proposal is unique, and in case it doesn't fall under any of the challenges, that is where there is something called miscellaneous challenge. You can put it there. It will be a little bit competitive, but if you put it there and then the light falls on it, definitely you will get funded. So basically, there is a database which contains every proposal that has already come on board. And before you even bring aboard your proposal, you would have met a lot of people who are already in the field, who have access to all of these files, the experience and everything. Then you can be able to know which one to do, which one not to do.
There's an online question that keeps on coming up. What is the global aim of Cardano? I don't know whether, and the person is asking from DRC.
Okay.
Goma.
Global aim of Cardano. Okay.
Cardano. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So let's welcome Auntie Bessie, the coordinator for WADA.
Yeah, so in terms of the global aim for Cardano, it's just banking the unbanked. I know that some of the earlier questions, somebody had asked about restrictions. And we know that it's only recently that even when we talk about Ghana and some of the East African countries, we have Momo and stuff like that, right? That we're able to do our banking online. So basically, we talk about Cardano. That is, it's just giving financial independence to each and every one of us. There were some questions that came up regarding, like how do we do the things that we do when we have so much restrictions? And one thing that I want us to remember is peer-to-peer. That is the freedom that blockchain gives us. We don't need a middleman anymore. We don't need banks. We don't need the government. And we are still a long ways away. I'm not saying that we are there yet, but we have the foundation that takes us to a place where you just, like you want to send money to somebody, you just send it to that person. So whether there are restrictions or whether there are lockdowns, we can still do the things that we need to do. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. So
the last question. Okay, that's last.
Please, it looks like I'm not there. What you just said is that the peer-to-peer transactions is what is the aim now to go by. But we are talking about restrictions in our midst now. What have they done? I want to see what they have done, and they have just crossed the border to the freedom we are looking at.
Sorry, but I didn't really hear you. But did you get it? Okay.
So a lot of these things, I think that it's in the doing. We have there is Jacob is at the back. We have Richmond at the back. when it comes to peer-to-peer transactions, they're able to sort of explain it a bit better. Maybe when we get to the general question time, that's also something that we can talk about. Another thing I also actually want to address is the issue of attacks, right? And safety of the blockchain. What makes blockchain what it is because it is a decentralized, as the first speaker said, Nathaniel, everybody has a copy. So if each one of us, say if one person, right, in this room is holding all the data, let's say the Google Doc that Nathaniel talked about, it's just one person. If we want to attack that data or that information, we can just isolate this one person and then neutralize him, and then all our data is gone. But if we have a copy, everyone in this room has a copy of that data. So you are going to kill everybody in this room. Sometimes it's not even just in one location, because right now the blockchain is such that it's all over the world. So, and that is the promise of blockchain. That is why people are getting so excited about blockchain. All the things that we've said, what Nana Safo has said, what Nathaniel has said, it sounds good. It's still a lot of work, right? But through education, through ideas, there's lots of opportunities. I know that we can make the world a better place. That's why we are trying to reach out to the youth and trying to open some of these opportunities for all of us to be aware of that.
Thank you very much. So, on that note, I would like to call my presentation to a closure, and I would like to thank everybody for sticking in your seats and listening to me. And I just want to say, may God bless you for that. And please, as I said earlier on, I am throwing a challenge to you that at the end of 2022, out of 2,100 proposals that will be funded, either you or your team should have a proposal in there, because it is through that we can make the world a better place. Don't think about the technical stuffs that much, okay? Just adopt it, engage yourself, and then you are good to go. You have people around to guide you all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you again for your... Is it coming? Thank you again for your patience and time. One thing that I want to add to this thing is whether you have proposals or not. Whether you have proposals or not, the Cardano community is very free, it's open. And I pray and hope that all of you would go to Ideal Skills and sign on. Because there are a lot of activities there that as a young guy, a young person, you can get on there, get involved, and you will see the things that will come up to you. I don't want to say things, but then they're not listed a number of things that you can do. If even you are not a proposer, you can be a community advisor, you can be this, you can be this, you can be that. But you have to sign on first. The community is very open, it's decentralized. It's not like we in America, we are this, we are doing this and that. If you are here and you get yourself involved in anything that you want to do, it's open and you can do it. So that's one of the things we are trying to educate the youth, and then you come on board. But as Anna said, and then our offices are opened. If you need any help, come around. We'll talk to you, we'll help you, we'll assist you to do your proposals. You can submit it with WADA. If you want to do it by yourself, you can do it, but you have to refer us. You have to make us your referral and all those things. So our offices are open from Monday to Friday. We invite all of you. At this point, we would want David to come and wake us up. But I'm sure that the way the presentation is going, so excited that nobody is sleeping. Or do you want us to shake our body for about 5 minutes, then we'll go on? David. Daniel. I'm always calling him David. All of you call him Daniel. So it's a Daniel that I've been using.
Thank you very much, Madam Befia. That's our country director. Okay, can we all be on our feet? Can we stand up? This one is just quick energizer. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, we are going to count 1, 2, 3 from 10 to 1. Okay, we count our right, we count the left, we count the right leg, then we count the left leg. So this is what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing an example for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then here 2, we'll go 10. We'll go 10 here, 10 here. The second round, we'll go 9, 9, 9, 9. Then 8, 8, 8, 8, till we get to 0. I hope you can do it very quick. Okay? So right hand first, right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand. So let's go. Let's come together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's come together. 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
David, thank you very much. I don't know whether I should have done it earlier on, but we have an account provider that says that we now sound of her tree. Okay. And I just say, bonsoir, mommy. So we have the pleasure to have the brain behind water. The person doesn't live here. She's lived in Canada for over 20 years. She first saw this community thing. She'd followed it before they even started launching the funds. And then he realized that, no, I'm from Ghana. So if I've seen something like this, people are taking it to their countries. Why don't I also explore and see what I can make out of it for my country? So we have the brain behind water. So she started little. She communicated with a few people. Her ideas, it's not just Ghana, but Africa, other African countries. We communicated with like-minded people, and they all bought into the idea. As you see on the billboard, we are in other countries in Africa, and the diaspora as well. So she decided that she wants to take a break. And this time around, she's in our midst, and she's the person of Mercy Techivenson. So Mercy is behind WADA. She's a long-time friend. We both went to school at Tech, and she decided to translocate, relocate, disappear. Okay, so she now lives in Canada with her family. But as I said, when she was exploring things, she's a nurse by profession. When she was exploring things and she saw this opportunity, this community thing, and realized the way it helps to build community, it helps to develop people, she decided that let's have a branch here. So she is the mother of WADA, but she's not here. She's WADA Global. As he said, we are in the country, we are here. You've seen all those people with the team support. Some didn't wear their T-shirts, but we have a number of people that are also helping to let the WADA community grow, Natalian and all those who did presentations. So our next stage, Mercy is also going to take us through an aspect, which I've still not understood, but I hope I understand it today. An aspect of the blockchain to do with people who are really good into art and those things. Another aspect of the blockchain. So let's welcome Mercy.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I really want to talk about NFTs. Some ideas, when its time come, then its time has come. And I feel like, blockchain in the world, blockchain, especially in Africa, its time has come. A lot of the time, I just feel like I was just an instrument. So I don't take any credit at all for myself. It's the people that, when I shared the dream, they picked it and they ran with it. So I'm very grateful to the Ghana team and to the teams all over the world. Right now, online, we have Megan, she's in DRC. We have people in Kumasi. We have people in the north. We have people in DRC and Cameroon. And we have Osh also joining us from Nigeria. So, that's the power of blockchain. You just pick it up and, nobody is your boss. You are just your own boss and you can pick it up from there. Can you hear me through the mask or should I remove the mask? I think I'll remove it. Okay. So we are going to talk about NFTs. And very quickly, next slide. Yeah, so this is what we are going to talk about. As you can see, we will figure out what NFTs are, the history, some of the current use cases, and what the future could bring. And then we'll have a panel. It's going to be a small panel discussion. Next slide. Okay. So before we can understand what NFTs are, we need to understand, because, who knows what NFT stands for? What is NFT? Okay, so the answer is on the screen. Okay, that's good. So it is non-fungible, non-fungible token. So if we are talking about non-fungible token, then it means that we have fungible token. Who knows what a token is? What's a token? Okay, a token is any asset that has been put on the blockchain. So if you are able to capture an asset and put it on the blockchain, or you're able to capture it, you're able to capture the value of an asset digitally, that is a token. Who knows what fungible stands for? Fungible. Okay, so I'm going to call Efia to come and help me to explain what fungible is. And at the end of this presentation, if Efia still doesn't understand NFTs, then this means I've failed, because she will tell me if she doesn't understand it. Okay, so can you take the one CD, 5 of it? Okay, so just, yeah. So if I were to go to buy anything that's 1 CD, right? I can either use this to pay, or I can use any 1 CD to pay. Is that right? So this CD is not different from this CD. It's not different from this CD. It's all the same. I can use any of them. If I go and buy something and it's 5 CDs, right? I can either pay with this, or I can pay with the single 5 CDs. If I go and buy something, it's 10 CDs, I can use the 10 CDs, or I can use the 5, 1 CDs and the 1 5 CD. So these assets, this is an asset, it represents value. It is fungible, because one is the same as the other, as long as the value is the same. Like if we are talking about 10 CDs, then we can, use any of these broken down to represent the 10 CDs. So that's value. It's fungible because it's all the same. When we look at Bitcoin, that's also value that is captured on the blockchain. 1 Bitcoin is the same as another Bitcoin. It's the same as another Bitcoin. There's no difference. So it's fungible. You can use one for the other. ADA is the same, Ethereum is the same. When we talk about non-fungible, we see this picture. All the yellow balls are, who can tell me what all the yellow balls are? Are they fungible or non-fungible? They are fungible. The only thing that's non-fungible is the white ball. Is that correct? Okay, so can we go to the next slide? So, in 2008, something big happened. And Nathaniel told us a little bit about that. The internet happened around the 1970s, right? What we could do was that we could put information on the internet. So you have a PDF or you have a Google Doc, you can capture it digitally, which means that you can put it on the internet. For a long time, people wanted to capture money on the internet. They tried to capture money on the internet such that money can become like information. It can become like an email. It can become like a Google Doc. Who can tell me why this wasn't possible before 2008? Is there somebody here who can tell me why we couldn't capture the value of money on the internet? It's only the banks. So that was a centralized organization. If I need to do a transaction, what's your name? Well, Seth. If I want to do a transaction with Seth, we have to go through the bank because the bank is controlling, it's like they are the moderators because I couldn't deal directly with Seth. Why couldn't I deal directly with Seth? Yes. Sorry, please wait for the...
This is what I just think. Probably you needed an intermediary between yourself and Seth to be able to connect. And the bank was providing that. But you couldn't have, directly linked or had a transaction with Seth without an intermediary or without a platform. That's what I think.
Exactly. The reason that I couldn't deal directly with Seth in terms of money and anything of value is because they call something the double spend problem. We always needed an intermediary because there has to be somebody who will say that if I tell Seth that I'm going to send him 100 CDs, right? It won't be that, okay, say all the money that I have is just 100 CDs. If I tell Seth that I'm sending him 100 CDs, somebody has to verify that that same 100 CDs, I haven't sent it to, what's your name? David, yeah. So I haven't sent David 100 CDs, or I haven't promised to send, and you, what's your name? Kelvin, right? So in the past, before cryptocurrency, the reason that we couldn't capture money or exchange money digitally is, as I said, what they call the double spend problem. Because then, I can tell Seth, oh, I'm sending you money. And meanwhile, I've promised 10 other people that I'm sending, and they can't know. So, that is the problem of double spend. So when Bitcoin came, what Satoshi Nakamoto was able to do was to solve that problem in the sense that we can capture money on the blockchain such that I cannot double spend. I cannot promise it to 10 different people. I can only promise it to one person. That 100 CDs will go to just that one person. Am I clear so far? If you am I clear? Okay. So once the double spend problem was solved, or once blockchain came into being, now what we could do was we could now capture all kinds of assets digitally. Now we could capture all kinds of assets. Because if I say that I have an artwork, or I have the deeds to a piece of land, and we put it on the blockchain, we capture it on the blockchain, I cannot, that same deed that we've captured on the blockchain, or that piece of art, the policy ID that we've captured on the blockchain, I cannot promise it to so many other people. The blockchain ensures that only one, there's only one representation of that valuable asset that has been captured. Can we go to the next slide? So far, once people realized that we could start capturing assets on the blockchain in a way that it is not double spent, or in a way that it's unique, all of a sudden we had all kinds of representation. So, some people that have been around for quite a long while, they've heard about CryptoKitties. We have something called NBA Moments. We have, there's a lot of artwork that's been minted on the Cardano blockchain. And the reason that people are so excited about NFTs is that pretty much you can take this physical world and actually put it, make it a digital world. We can put it, and they call it the metaverse. So you can just basically put this physical world onto, make it digital in a way that it is unique. Like if you take me, you take my avatar. Each one of us here, we are all non-fungible tokens, because we all have different footprint. I mean, footprints and fingerprints and all that. We are all very, very unique. So what the blockchain does is that we are able to capture each and every one of us here, as long as it has a policy ID. There's a lot of tech and a lot of maths behind it. But as long as it has a policy ID, it can be put on the blockchain, and that solves a lot of problem. We can sell houses on the blockchain. We can sell art on the blockchain. People can duplicate art that we put on the blockchain. But the beauty is that because there is something called policy ID, you can always prove that you are the original owner of that art, in the sense that people can buy that art confidently, knowing that it has not been counterfeited. If you send money to somebody, they will receive it confidently, knowing that it hasn't been counterfeited. So in a sense, that is non-fungible tokens. You capture assets on the blockchain that you know that it has not been counterfeited. You know that it is only one, it's only unique. And you know that if even in terms of transferring, we don't even need a middleman to be able to verify that this is true or this is false. There are a lot of good artists around, and they do their art, and what happens is that, they have these centralized, auction houses, and they take a big percentage of the art. So that is what the future, is promising in terms of what the blockchain can do. I want to pause here. Has anybody got any questions? Efia, do you have any questions?
No. It's now really clear.
Good. Okay, next slide. So this is what I was talking about, right? A lot of times we heard Nana Safo talking about people having ideas. And I think even Nathaniel mentioned it. You have a great idea, you go and show it to somebody, and then before you realize they are implementing your idea. People steal intellectual property all the time. If we are able to put this on the blockchain, then it is immutable. It is, and when we say it's immutable, it's records that cannot be changed. And it's something that, we just think about it, and the possibilities just blows our minds. We're talking about, a real estate. We are talking about education, credentials. That is something that we can, we go into partnerships with universities, with schools. And when somebody shows a certificate saying that they are a pharmacist or a medical doctor, people know, as long as if it's been put on the blockchain, people know that this is something that cannot be duplicated. Right now, some people can go to school, they can study. They want to travel, they go and they're like, yeah, we don't believe that you are really a medical officer. I mean, how heartbreaking is that? And the reason is that there has been a lot of duplication and counterfeiting in the system. Let's go to the next slide. So right now, so I don't know how this is going to work, but we have two people. One is in Nigeria and one is in, well, he's mostly in DRC, but currently he's in Canada. We're going to see if we can, what I'm trying to do is to ask them a few questions. So can we bring Osh and Jonty on, please? So Megan was going to help us with that. In the meantime, are there any questions? Is it clear? Yes. Can we give somebody a mic? Yes.
You're saying something about selling art through blockchain. Assuming I have a photograph like this one, how do I sell it through that one?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And as I said, we are in very early stages of going sort of mainstream. So one of the things that WADA is trying to do is to create like a platform. So it's an online platform that, you know, we go out, we reach out, or even artists reach out to us and say that, look, this is work that I myself did. I didn't copy it from somebody, it is mine, I want you to help me to sell it. So there are online platforms that actually sell those artwork. Sorry? You will have to, you know, once you can prove that you are the one that did it, then you send them, they call it a JPEG, so it's just a photograph. But then they mint it with a policy ID. So it is to show that this is yours, and, you know, that ID, you know, sort of links it directly to you as the owner. So every time, once you put it on, every time you sell it, you know, it has a trail. So we know that, okay, this was the original, it belonged to you, and then I bought it, and in fact, it also captures very well the issue of royalties, because royalties is also something that it's costing artists a lot of value. Because, you know, sometimes the royalties never come back, you know, they are pirated and stuff like that. But on the blockchain, because of smart contracts, and that's a whole new topic, we are able to, every time that your artwork is sold, a percentage of the sale, which is the royalties, comes to you, and because of smart contracts. Yeah. Okay, do we have them? Yay. Yay, they are there. Okay, so should we, Jonty, do you want to quickly introduce yourself, please?
Hello, welcome everyone again. My name is Jonty Sambra, or Kedonic, and as Mercy said, I'm the lead of project within Congo for WADA. And I'm currently in Canada, Ottawa, so it's quite early for me. Welcome again. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonty. And Osh, do you want to introduce yourself too? Osh, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I had to mute the Ghana team, so there wasn't the feedback. But Osh, would you like to quickly introduce yourself as well?
Okay, so my name is Oshoma Abubakar. I'm an artist, designer. Sometimes I write as well. I am in Nigeria, Lagos, and I'm proud to be part of the WADA team. Yeah.
Should I?
Actually, someone who's in Ghana might need to go over to unmute. I don't have the ability to unmute externally. But it sounds like we'll have to mute while the panelists are speaking.
So my first question is going to go to Osh. So as you all heard, Oshoma is in Lagos. He has had an idea for the past, is like 5 years. It's called Afrix. And
maybe while
recently,
they're figuring that out, the two of you could also speak to sort of your experiences with NFTs and what excites you about that space.
Yeah, so in my case, in addition to being involved in project proposals, I'm also a developer. And when you develop applications within the blockchain, my experience with NFTs is that they're very handy to trace the state. As Mercy said, NFTs are quite unique. So by their uniqueness, you are able, it's like a trace, you're able to follow them, and you will be aware that you are handling the same item. For example, if you are buying an NFT, that NFT has its own identity. They could look the same, they could almost look the same, but you will be able to identify them by their policy. That's the same also with tokens. ADA today is a name. You can create another token called Ghana, and another token also called again Ghana. But those two tokens, if they have different policies, they will be called the same name by externally, but for a programmer, he's going to be able to identify that these tokens, even though they share the same name, they're actually different. So two NFTs are not the same. And that is good for a developer, because once you know that there is an NFT at an address, you are confident that you're actually dealing with the same and appropriate address. That's one application. Another application is the way Mercy said, we're able to make items, take them from the real world and put them on the digital world. We tokenize them. For example, a land title. Once you have a land title and you have the whole geography of the area, we will know that that land title only applies to this area, and that is representative of that land title. That's an example of an NFT. Another application again for me is when I'm looking into deeds, IDs. Like currently in Congo, I'm the president of the board of directors of an institution, a college, and some of the students are actually on the call. We are planning on issuing the diplomas on the blockchain, so that whenever a student has a diploma, that diploma, even though they could be all called a degree in, for example, in accounting, that degree will be unique, given that it's applicable to that particular student and also issued by that particular college. That should be happening by possibly January already. So once we issue those deeds, as Mercy said, if another institution, a college wants, or a university or an employer wants to check the credentials of our students, they won't need to rely on us, the issuers. They will be able to check it on the blockchain. So instead of sending us emails and we have to reply within 4 days while the application is being processed of the student will be able to tell the school they're applying to, this is how you check my credentials, and this is a verified issuer. This is actually, is there issued this deed? So I'm actually able to confirm by myself that I attended is there. So they don't actually need to call us and ask us whether we actually issued that diploma, because the diploma itself shows that it's actually valid. And the owner is also the owner who has the deed. So that is very, very, very possible, very useful in the future. And that's the 3 examples I can share. My other panelists can also share their experience while we get the Ghana audience again online. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Genty. You have you have stated a lot of use cases that NFTs are for, and it's very hard to like top that. What Jency has said is practically like very interesting use cases for us, especially as Africans, where you have like land issues, where you have birth certificates and what do you call it, school certificate issues. So all those problems are going to be solved. They're going to be easy for us to find our certificates and verify those certificates, because those are very, very important, and it will save us a lot of time. For me, let me take it from the artist angle. A lot of people like might know about maybe like CryptoPunks or what happened with Beeple, where he sold his work. So this is an avenue for artists to get revenue, where they can like make money from the work that they do. Not just digital art. You can even talk about music. You can talk about films. It can be like an avenue for companies to raise money. Like if you're a filmmaker, for instance, think of it that you are selling NFTs. Maybe you make like NFTs of your poster or art that is going to be in the movie, or concept art basically, and sell it as NFTs to people. It can serve as tickets to the movie when it comes out, and it will help like fund the movie for movie makers, especially if you have like established movie makers that are trying to raise money from try to be independent from from studios. Because if you notice how movies are made in Hollywood, it can be a lot of studio interference, because they want to tweak the movie in a way that would fit the market. And a lot of independent directors and movie makers are not able to express their creative freedom. So like that can be a way that movie makers, filmmakers, artists, musicians can like leverage on this space and like have like their true fans. Like I'm a fan of John Bellion now. If John Bellion should say that he wants to release NFTs for his next album, and it's going to be exclusive to people that own the NFTs, I will surely definitely get the NFT. Yeah. So I'm sure there are people like that you would want to support their artistry. People that have touched you, that have felt something. Maybe it could be Burna Boy, it could be anybody. So those are like use cases for NFTs, and it is a very exciting stage. Like we're very early. Like I know a lot of people like to say this word, this phrase a lot. We are very early, but if you are listening to it now and hearing about NFTs and you are confused about it, I advise you to like take time to like learn about it. And with Afriks, like what we're trying to do, we're trying to like put history on the blockchain basically. So I'm sure Messi will like give you like a lowdown of what we are trying to do with our own NFT project. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. I think I'm gonna just moderate this discussion, and then we'll get the other team back on just to prevent the feedback issue. Ash, since you were just talking a lot about sort of how artists can use NFTs, would you mind clarifying a little bit sort of the difference between digital art generally and then turning it into an NFT? Maybe a little bit of a technical side, and why it's beneficial to have it as an NFT instead of more generally digital art.
Okay, yeah. So when you are like a digital artist, even traditional artists that use paints and the likes, and one of the things that happens is that you are when you mint your work as an NFT, you are putting it on the blockchain, potentially cementing it longer than how it would be if it is just in the ether. It's just floating in the ether, like on the internet. One of the things that you look at is that verification of who the artist is. Like what Jency pointed out, where you would be, you see a piece of artwork online, and you'll be confused to know who is the person that actually made this piece of art. And if we have NFTs that can verify via the blockchain, it will help the artist get located easily. You understand? So when someone sees the policy or someone searches for the policy, they will see everything that they need to see on the piece of work on the metadata. So you can easily tell stories on your with your NFTs. People, like they say, like a picture tells 1,000 words, but the metadata like kind of points you to where the 1,000 words are basically. So as an artist, it is essential for you to have that drive to become come into the NFT space, so that you aren't forgotten in space per se. I know a lot of people like to be confused, and like I know that a lot of artists are political and they try to do what is right for the environment, and that is why Cardano is like one of the best places for you to mint your NFTs. So when you mint your NFT, it is first of all cheap, and it is used like Cardano is a proof of stake blockchain, so it doesn't use enormous amount of energy. You don't pay enormous amount of gas fees, so there are a lot of benefits for you. So if you're an artist, I would suggest that you take that opportunity and explore minting your work or your works.
Awesome, thank you. And how do you, can you walk us through the process of how do you actually acquire an NFT? If you're looking to buy one and have it, how do you get it? And then what do you do with it when you have it?
Okay, yeah, so there are two ways that I can tell how you can like buy your NFT. Because with the advent of smart contracts that have come to Cardano blockchain, it is still early stages for a few NFT marketplaces. So the first one that we have been used to is sending ADA to the address that is for the project or for the artist, and what happens is that the NFT is sent to your wallet. So a usual advice is that you should never send ADA from an exchange, because it will get lost in the exchange's wallet, not your wallet. So if you do not have your seed phrase, it is not your wallet. Like that they say, not your phrase, not your keys, not your keys, not your wallet. So like what happens there is you use wallets like Pluroi, Daedalus, Nami wallets, and there are a couple of wallets that you can use for those. So once you do that, you get your NFTs on your wallet, and to view your NFTs, you go to like pool.pm to check what NFTs or how your NFTs look like. So that's one. Then the second one is by smart contract, which is easier. So there are a few places now like Token and Spaceboards and Dead Pixels. Those NFT marketplaces use smart contracts. I was testing one yesterday, but it's not yet solid. Still early stages for them. But like when you just purchase your NFT, just connect your wallet. Once you connect your wallet, it asks you for permission, so you sign, and that amount of ADA is deducted from your wallet, and there's an instant exchange. No need for you to send anything manually. So those are the two ways that you can actually purchase your NFTs.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Janti, I want to invite you now to maybe elaborate a little bit more on some of the business cases for NFTs in addition to art. I know we talked about like land titles and things like that. Is there one of them you wanted to dig into a little bit deeper?
Yes, I would like to expose a bit on what a token would mean in terms of other applications like financial tokenization of shares. Let's say today you want to fund a company. You issue shares. Those are also titles. They're basically ownership titles. They're called shares. They're called ownership shares, different depending on where you are. But in reality, it's a part of ownership of the company. So once that company is tokenized, today you have like the big Wall Street. Wall Street was based before by issuing paper to basically deeds to people. Like people were moving around with these ownership papers of the company. And today, in Africa, most countries in Africa, they do not have anything equivalent to Wall Street. However, we do have many companies that are looking for access to capital. Wall Street facilitates an investor to come and buy, add to your capital, give you more money for you to expand. In Africa, many businesses, especially the small and medium ones, do not have access to the capital. Many Africans want to invest. Many business owners want to acquire more capital. However, that connection is not there, given that there is no structure, there is no marketplace, there is no medium for them to meet and to exchange that ownership versus the capital. With NFTs, for example, in DRC, we have this Prime Funding Corporation, which we are trying to basically make it as the first case in Goma, where owners will receive their shares through the NFTs. Those NFTs will be issued to shareholders, and those shareholders could be able to sell their shares. And not only sell their shares, but automatically via smart contract, they will also be able to receive their dividends. So if you're a small business owner, let's say in Africa, and then in a few years or a few months, there is such a website or such a place where you can expose your owners of your shares, see how many dividends you have been giving out on the blockchain. People who are able to invest will see your history of being able to provide those dividends based on their capital, on your capitalization, and you could prove that you're actually possibly more profitable than any other company. And once you prove it on the blockchain, you could be based in Ghana and you get an investor from Malaysia. He doesn't need to know a lot about you. If the laws in your country allow a foreigner to invest in a company in a trustless way, there could be other people in between. For example, WADA could be an issuer of verification of IDs, knowing who the person from Malaysia is. That person could still invest in Ghana, invest in a company, and that will be something very beneficial for small and medium companies in Africa. That's one particular example I aim to see in the future. Already, as I say, I'm implementing it where I know. I know in Congo, they allow us to have foreign investors up to 70% could be foreigners, 30% could be local. So once we have like the 30% established, we could open for 70% even external on the blockchain, even for other companies. That is one example. There is also another example that the NFTs, Oshoma mentioned it, that you could have like art, not only just digital art, but actually even the sound itself, because it can also be digitalized. For example, if you have a very known refrain, like some little really you created, people are going to know that you're actually the one who were the originator. I know some cases on TikTok where there was this little young girl who created a type of dance, but she was not recognized because nobody knew that actually she's the one who made it. But through the NFTs, and if she had tokenized her moves, there could have been no argument as to where that move came from. You see, so there is a traceability of ownership. And in Africa, we have so many ways to trace ownership via the food chain, via the production chain. There is a lot that is lost in Africa because there is no traceability and there is no accounting of the goods. And that's why sometimes our economies are informal, because of course there is no place people are feeling free, and it's costly. With the blockchain, some informal companies can be formalized easier through that method I showed. Like if they're small companies, they can issue shares at a cheaper way and get more investors, and they will slowly become more formalized and join the formal sector as we grow. So that's those two examples I can give on a business aspect.
Amazing. Well, it's so great to have you, Janti, and Ash, you here to provide these two, unique perspectives on NFTs. I just want to now take a chance to open up for questions. If anybody has any questions, online, or if the live team wants to try to field questions, let us know. Okay, we must have done a great job explaining then, I think, if there are no questions. So thank you both again so much for your time. And now I think we can hand it back over for the rest of the event.
To Megan, Roche, and Genty for a lively and understandable presentation. At this place, we are going to have Megan talking to us about WADA, a call to action. But it's recorded, so we'll look at it on the screen. After which we'll take general questions. If anybody has a general question.
Hi, my name is Megan Hess. I am really excited now to close out this event with a call to action. So we've learned a lot today about different ways that the blockchain is useful to us, how it works, how Project Catalyst works, NFTs. And now, let's close this up. What is WADA? Who is even putting this event together? And how can you stay involved? So I am Megan Hess. I am the events and educational lead here at WADA. I also am in charge of sub-regional coordination for Central Africa and am based in Cameroon. So WADA is a network of hubs across Africa and the diaspora, enabling and implementing what we like to talk about as the 3 pillars of WADA. We have infrastructure, education, and dApp creation. And I'll go into each of those in a little bit, but what we've been focusing on so far, we've had our different hubs joining together, such as in this event today. And we've had several events in the past. We started in July to have regular events, and we are looking to continue and launch that even further in the coming months. So here is a little overview. We talked about Project Catalyst earlier today. Here's an overview of WADA and WADA Network, or partner proposals that were just funded in round 6. So I'm going to leave this up here for a second. You can view it later on our website, and if any of these speak to you, contact us for ways to get involved or to see what happens to get involved as a participant, or even if you wanted to get involved further internally, we welcome that as well. So now let's focus a little bit on what are we doing. I showed you sort of the overview of some things that were funded, but let's get into the details. So I talked about the 3 pillars. What are we doing in terms of infrastructure? And let me just read this quote from one of our proposals called Planting Roots in Africa. What we are looking to do, what we are doing, by funding basic infrastructure in African hubs, it will allow us to collaborate, coordinate, educate, and initiate building out local use cases. So we recognize that on a fundamental level, you need to have a solid infrastructure, right, in order for something to be successful in the long term. So what we want to do is assist in that initial setting up of infrastructure, setting up of hubs across Africa, and as I said, the diaspora, to enable a solid foundation for people to come together and have access to our network of hubs, to have access to our experts, our educational content, and our resource of developers and entrepreneurs and people that are all united in this common goal. So here on the call with us today, we're representing these 5 countries. We have Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm honestly so amazed and grateful for everyone who's here today and for everyone who's been involved in WADA. It seems like in such a short time that we can say that these 5 countries have come together with a really selfless goal of, sharing information and becoming a decentralized network is really amazing to me. And what WADA is looking to do is to support these places as much as possible in setting up that initial infrastructure that will allow them to be self-sustainable and successful. So now let me move on to the next point of education. So similar to our event today, we look to continue these types of events, educating about blockchain and distributed ledger technology, as well as providing opportunities and access to funding sources such as Project Catalyst. And looking to come soon, we'll be really expanding that effort, especially in terms of different workshops and boot camps targeted towards helping to refine your proposals and put really your best foot forwards. Additionally to that, we will be expanding into DeFi solutions for Cardano, stake pool operations, and also one of our partner universities in Congo is looking at a decentralized identity solution to use there. Also in the works, we have a team currently working on developing a new educational initiative geared towards functional programming, specific things such as Haskell, Plutus, Elm, distributed ledger technology, and software design. So look for that coming soon. We will have developer meetups, other meetups, meetups for developers and entrepreneurs to mingle and problem solve, as well as specific courses and hackathons. And what we really strive for in this type of education is to be as efficient as possible in terms of creating education that will be around a project. So instead of learning for learning, you'll be learning and maybe helping one of our hubs create a solution at the same time. So look forward to that coming soon. Now, finally, we have our third pillar, which is dApp creation. So we have, I'm highlighting here 3 of our partners who did receive funding. So they'll be working on these solutions. We have microlending, a token for health systems, and Checha, which is a change solution for local markets. Looking forward, these individual solutions in different countries, we look that our network will be able to communicate in such a way that if Ghana has found a good solution for microlending and someone in Nigeria wants to also look at something like that, they can communicate with each other in such a way that hopefully they create a solution that can work across both countries, many countries, multiple countries, and we avoid reinventing the wheel each time. We want this to be a huge collaboration in terms of sharing our solutions and standards across the hubs to make, the interoperability of different dApps and solutions the norm. So I hope that, all of that was really exciting and that you're thinking now, how do I stay involved in WADA? I don't know how you made it here today, but thank you so much for coming. If you're not already part of our social media network, please join us. You can join us in conversations on Discord, Telegram, Twitter. Also, if you have any more specific requests or anything like that, you can always email us, hello@wadaalliance.org. And I just really look forward to all the things that we will do together. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Do you have any general questions for us? We have a lot of team members around, so they will help you answer your questions. Yep, any questions before we come to the... Any questions? You are satisfied to the fullest?
I want to know a bit about the NFT. During the presentation, one thing which came up was that it's peer-to-peer. There is no middleman in between, maybe when you want to transfer ownership of something or get a transaction across. But my question is, if NFT is on the blockchain technology, then is the blockchain technology not the middleman between maybe whoever you are transacting with? Is my question clear?
NFTs are peer-to-peer. Then why the blockchain?
So we need to think of the blockchain the way that we think about the internet. It's a platform. Otherwise, what we are looking at is like, 1,000 years ago, when we only could do transactions within people in our own villages. So what the internet does for us is that we are able to do transactions all over the world. At some point in time, we do need a platform, and the blockchain is what gives us the platform. Nobody stops us from, having transactions amongst our friends, family, members, just in our own communities, face to face. The only problem with that is that it greatly limits our exposure. I mean, if you have a piece of art, the more people see it, or even if you decide to auction it, the more people there is in the auction, the higher the price will go. So exposing ourselves sort of to a wider market is always very good. Does that answer the question? Is there anything online? We know that it's been a long day, and we are very grateful that you decided to spend your Saturday with us. We are also even more grateful that you've stayed through patiently, listening attentively. These are the things that encourages us in what we do. And we know that, a day in and day out, as this dream extends, as you all, come in and get involved in one way or the other, we will begin to see the world that we think that the possibilities of blockchain can unlock. So at this point, I think I'll give it to Efia. I think Nana Safu wanted to do a quiz. He wants to give us some prizes, so thanks.
There is no WADA with conference without a prize. This time we want you to crack your brains. We always dash aiders, but today we want to crack your brains before you get the aider. So we are going to send you links. We are going to send you the questions to your Anasa. Come and explain it.
All right, thank you. So this is how the quiz is going to go. In your emails, you will see a link leading to googleforms.org, all right? And it contains 15 questions for 30 points. 15 questions for 30 points. There are some questions that you actually have to write. And talking about these questions, you need to make sure that whatever you heard from these presentations is what you're actually going to write, because we are going to mark plagiarism. So please provide, play with the fair rule game, all right? Let's all just try to be fair. We just want to know if you actually had or got the concept of everything that we are trying to do over here, or whatever blockchain is seeking to do. We want to know how well you are informed, and then we can, build from that aspect also. So very shortly, the quiz will be sent to your emails. But before then, let me ask, I hope everybody provided their accurate emails at the front desk, because those are the emails you are going to use to distribute the form. So if you didn't do that, then please go and do it right now before it's time. Thank you.
I hope everybody has a Yoroi wallet here. If you don't, please raise your hand so that we can create one for you. Because Cardano community, if you don't have the Yoroi wallet, you are missing out. We deal everything on that, and the quiz prize will be sent to is Ada. We'll send it to your Yoroi wallet. So if you don't have a Yoroi wallet, Nathaniel, there's someone here without a Yoroi wallet, if you can help him. If you don't have a Yoroi wallet, create one before you leave here. So those who, the quiz have been sent, I don't know whether it's 30 minutes. I don't know whether you want to sit here and answer it. After 30 minutes, we'll close so if your questions are not in after 30 minutes, you will not be assessed.